this is episode 5 of Squirrels Nest TV. I'm Dale Polachek, one of the 2 correspondents, and today my guest is Gloria Hays. And Gloria travels a lot. And in fact, where are you about to head to today?
I am heading to Ireland once again.
I'm going to take you to the airport today.
You are, and I'm really thankful for that. Yep.
So, how did you start traveling with your music and with the hammer dulcimer? How did that all begin?
So back in the 80s, I was living in Milwaukee, and I basically was playing at open mics and got invited to play at other places. And before I knew it, I was playing at festivals mostly around Wisconsin, schools, nursing homes, all kinds of events around Wisconsin. That was in the 80s and 90s. And in that time period, I discovered the hammer dulcimer and Irish music. I also was offered an opportunity to be a volunteer host at WORT, which is a community-sponsored radio station in Madison. And part of the reason I got that opportunity was because I was a traveling folk musician and they were looking for somebody to do the folk music show. So I already had a lot of contacts with musicians, but mostly in the Midwest and America. However, that changed when I started going to Irish Fest. And I met a gentleman there who wanted to do a small circuit sort of house concert thing around Wisconsin and said in reciprocal of that, he would put together a tour for me in Ireland. And so in 1990, I took my soon-to-be husband and 3 children, ages 4, 12, and 14, to Ireland. But because we were going to Ireland, I thought, why not a few of these other places where I've met musicians? So we went to Norway, Germany, France, England, Wales, and Ireland on that first 3-month tour with a hammer dulcimer and the kids.
So the kids, do the kids sing? Do they, were they ever part of your performance? Or?
Yeah, actually they were. Because I was a single mom for a long time, they were with me always by default, and they loved to sing as much as I did, and they would come up on stage with me and sing, and they were a big hit, and everyone in Europe loved them very much. My daughter Brittany went on to become a champion Irish dancer, and that gave us an opportunity to spend a few months in Ireland and stay in one place and really get to know the people and the community and get my head just right into the music. And so I have a great love affair with Ireland and the people and go there as often as I can. But the kids are now all grown and still involved in the music, although they don't play the instruments. Brittany has an Irish dance school in western Wisconsin and still loves it. Her children love it as well. I get to play for them sometimes, and it's been great.
So since that initial trip to Ireland, you've been lots of places. So
I have.
What are some of the places you've been to and some of those experiences?
Well, part of it is because I have a sister who is even more adventurous than I am.
That can't happen, no.
And Christine, actually, you put together a wonderful benefit album, the Bluegrass for Nepal, after the earthquake, when she was living in Nepal in the earthquake. So wherever my sister was, I found a great excuse to go and visit. And her sons are close to my children's age, and so I would get opportunities to play in the community, in the schools, in the clubhouses for the neighborhood kids, things like that. So all around the Caribbean, all over, not all over, but she was in India for a while, and Nepal. We went to Indonesia. I played there for some people, and Thailand. I also was in West Africa, invited to be a part of a program to empower youth and train them to become leaders. I went there as a nurse. I'm also a hospice nurse, retired now, but I went there and was able to lecture for students at the nursing school and participate in the festival for empowerment of youth. And boy, did they ever love the American music.
So I think we had some video of that.
Yeah, we do.
With the kids.
Oh, no! What are you going to do?
the language barrier? Did the kids speak English? Were you able to speak their language? And if not, how did you get them to sing?
Well, actually, they did speak English.
Okay.
Their primary, I think they learn in school in English. They also speak Arabic and French, but pretty much everybody speaks English except for tribal people. And I was doing some training in clinics for women that were from tribal villages, and we used UNICEF charts with pictures. This year, I was in Latvia, and I played for boys and girls there that didn't really have much grasp at all of the English language. But they still love the music. You don't have to have a common language. I've always said that music is the universal language, because I can go, woo, and then ask you to echo that, and you'll echo it, hopefully.
It's me you're talking to.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you'll do something different.
There we go.
So I do a lot of call and response songs that are simple to sing with the children. And of course, instrumentals on the hammer dulcimer. I play mountain dulcimer and guitar too, and ukulele. Those are kind of the three that I travel with. Typically, I do travel with the hammer dulcimer. And when I first went to Ireland in 1990, I had an Augusta Grand, and it was made by Sam Rosetta, and it fit in the overhead. So things have gotten a lot trickier since then. I still have a Sam Rosetta.
And you have Sam's
I'm
last
so,
instrument
yes,
before he
I
passed
have the
away.
instrument that, I didn't know that when I got it. I got it from Nick. He brought some of Sam's instruments to Everett one year, and I could not walk away from that instrument. I felt Sam's spirit in that instrument. And when I did finally decide to get it, inside of the pocket was a little card that said, this instrument belongs to Sam Rosetta, blah, blah, blah. And I called Nick up, and he goes, oh, didn't I tell you? That was his instrument. That was his last instrument. And it's part carbon fiber. It doesn't have a back. It's lightweight. In the case, it's about 14, 15 pounds.
And it fits in the overhead.
And it fits in the overhead.
Cool.
So it's much more difficult now and much more stressful. And you have to plan extra time and get to the airport and just be very confident with that instrument. And when they say it won't fit in the overhead, I say, but it does. However, on the small planes, like if you're going to Dublin and then you're going to the Isle of Skye on a smaller flight or something like that, it doesn't always fit in those small plane overheads. However, so far, I've had airline staff be very, very helpful when I explain to them that this is a valuable instrument that can't be put in stowage, and they'll find a closet for it and put it somewhere so that it's safe.
Well, that's good.
I've been very thankful for that.
So let's go back. You're about to leave to Ireland. In fact, as soon as we're done with this interview, we're going to go pack my car up and I'm taking you to the airport. When in the Squirrels Nest, we play a lot of Irish music, you know, so I think we all think of the hammer dulcimer as an Irish instrument. When you're in those sessions in Ireland, are there a lot of hammer dulcimers there?
No, and in fact, they don't consider it an Irish instrument because, as we know, it's really from Persia, and it's found in many, many cultures around the world. And in Ireland, people will tell me all the time they've never seen the instrument before, and they can't even believe that it's an Irish instrument. It's called champan in Irish, and it kind of sounds like chopping block, like hackbrett.
Well, that's German. Or
That's
Austrian
German,
for-
hackbrett, right. So in different cultures, yangqing, that's the Chinese, and it sounds kind of like a dulcimer kind of sound. But champan in Ireland has been around since at least there's written documentation from the 1700s. And they think it may have even come over as early as the 1200s with the Spanish Moors. So it fits in beautifully with the session. You have to know how to have proper session etiquette. It's not like the Squirrel's Nest where everybody plays.
No, but there's nothing like the Squirrel's Nest.
There's nothing like the Squirrel's Nest. But if you tried to pull one of those off and in a session in Ireland, you'd be booed right out of the place.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's the subtlety of the instrument. So my goal in playing at an Irish session is to play loud enough so that when I stop, people notice it. But when I'm playing it, they don't necessarily, they'll always tell me to play louder. And I'm like, I'm not going to play louder because I don't want to be louder than the accordions or louder than the fiddles.
Is that possible to be louder than the
Yes, yes. I played at a session with 6 accordion players, soon to be 7. There was 7 in the end. 7 accordion players, and I could play right above them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really loved it. So, you know, you just have to have proper session etiquette in Ireland. You don't go in, you know, like you own the session.
Well, you can't do that in any session,
No.
especially when you're a visitor. It's their house. You know?
Right. Yeah, it's polite to ask, is this an open session? And most of the time they'll say, well, is there anything else, you know? So in Ireland, yeah, they're happy. But sometimes some of the older, more traditional people will look at it and they'll kind of give you the evil eye. But I've gotten to a place where I've gotten enough respect from some high-end players that now I don't get that kind of.
So you were telling me you were walking down the street in Ireland one time and there were some buskers playing.
Yeah.
And they recognized you from
videos.
From social media videos, and they're excited that you're playing.
They're like, oh, it's Gloria Hays. And they're announcing it to this big crowd that they had already, you know. Would you play with us? And I was on my way to a session, so how could you say no?
Yeah.
And, it was brilliant. And they were younger guys. And, you know, it's a nice thing when people recognize your talent. And I'm not saying that to boast, but we put a lot of work into our craft, and we have a right to feel good about that.
You know, it's kind of fun when you are someplace unexpected and they saw your stuff on social media. You know, it's like, oh, that's so cool.
I know.
What a global thing this
It
is.
is.
You know?
It's a wonderful global thing. And my goal in Ireland, and I tell this to people quite a bit, is to keep the dulcimer alive in Ireland, because like the harp was nearly gone in Ireland, and thanks to Derek Bell from the Chieftains, he brought the harp sort of back into the scope, and he also played the champan. And so that's recording of him playing the dulcimer on albums. People sometimes will recognize that. And then it gains respect when you say, well, Derek Bell played the same instrument. Oh, that's right. I do remember that now.
Now, there is a hammer dulcimer player in Ireland.
Yes, up in Northern Ireland, in there's a session in Ballymoney at the Diamond Bar every Thursday night that's been run by Dick Glasgow. Mm-hmm. He originally started the session in Bushmills, which is one of the oldest whiskey distilleries in Ireland, is in Bushmills, so it's a great place to go near the Giant's Causeway. And he has played at castles dressed as a bard. And during COVID, he started doing videos every day using his photography. He's still doing that. I think that he's around 1,000 tunes that he's recorded now. And he uses other instrumentations as well. I plan to meet up with him while I'm in Ireland. Maybe I can get a little Squirrels Nest TV interview with him. That'd be fun.
I hope so. That would be great.
I hope so, yeah.
Well, I wish you the greatest trip to Ireland, and we'll see you in a couple months.
Yes.
And I'll get you out to the airport on time, okay?
All right. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Thank you, Sam, for having this great case to